Well, hello and welcome to another Synth Geekery show, another Saturday. It's awesome to have all of you, well, a few of you here anyway, to the little boutique channel this is in the corner of the world on the internet. Let us know if you can hear me okay. A couple of little error messages coming up on YouTube, so they just don't have this technology sorted, do they? Anyway, I mean, how hard can it be just to stream a 1080p video? Good to see everyone in chat. Should be a whole bunch of you guys there already. Yay, that button worked. Hope you enjoyed the little video at the start. If you're wondering what that is, that's a song that I did called Battery Rusted. And it was, yes, it was on the latest album called Significant Bit. If you did actually end up getting to listen to that, you would have recognized it. If you didn't, you've heard it now for the first time, and maybe you should go check out the rest of the album. We're going to be doing a bit of plugging today with albums, and I think it's good for you guys to sort of know that, you know, we aren't just geeking out about synths. We actually do make music as well. So, you know, putting our money where our mouth is, basically. And if you are new to the stream, it's awesome to have you. Something to chat, like these guys down here are doing, and say g'day, as we say in Australia. It's a bit of an old thing. I don't really know if we kind of say that anymore. It's kind of like an old 80s thing. Like, you know, that's not a knife, that's that sort of stuff from the 80s. Anyway, Croc Dundee, whatever his name was. But yeah, these days it's kind of, you know, it's very international, isn't it, over here? Very international. All right, what have we got? We have got 1, 2, 3, 4, well, hopefully 4 guests coming. Yeah, we make music too, Kent. We don't just fix synths. I know you're a bit of a budding musician, mate, so definitely. And, you know, keep doing it. Keep pressing record, that's what I say. What was I saying? Yes, we have 4 guests. One of them's in the chat already, which is JX3D. We've also got our 2 or 3 other regulars, the 2 Andys and Darren. Hopefully they're going to turn up at some stage. It's just me at the moment. It feels kind of lonely here. Not really. I haven't really done anything this week. I've been so busy with normal life. I mean, or abnormal life, whatever perspective you want. So yeah, everything is still here from last Saturday. It's like, here's the base station 2 is still there. Wow, I hadn't even touched anything and that still works. I wonder if it's still, yeah, it's still plugging into the crazy. I wonder if this works. Oh yeah, that's still working, cool. So that's clouds going on there. Now, clouds is there, which is actually a real mutable instruments module. I want to tell you guys about this, because I don't know if I can't remember if I actually mentioned this to you guys or not. I've actually got a clone of clouds in the drawer down below, which I can grab in a minute and we can have a look at it. But I kind of, when Emily announced that she wasn't making stuff anymore, I kind of thought, I want to have a real mutable module, and one that's actually made by, you know, her or her company. And my favorite module that she made out of all the modules, it was hard to kind of say, oh, what was my favorite? Like, you know, what's the best, or what one do I really want? And what I didn't want to do is I didn't want to go and buy one that was brand new, because I kind of felt like the brand new ones aren't necessarily always the best. And she stopped making clouds, I can't remember, was it like 3 or 4 years ago or something. So I kind of chose clouds. And luckily for me, there was a guy in Australia that sold me that, and I got the original box and the spinning top that came with it and all that sort of stuff. So I think I told you guys about it anyway. So this is kind of the nerdy stuff that I do. Did I need it? Absolutely not. Do I love it? Absolutely. There it is. Going all crazy. Mr. JX3D, he's puffing away into his, what do you call them, vaping machines or something. I'm going to bring him in. Where should we put you? We'll put you somewhere in one of the positions here. I just need to grab a special what's down the bottom left? We don't need base station, do we? So which one's base station? Is that one? No, that's that one. Okay, let's put Mr. JX3D. That's the wrong thing. Hang on. You can hear him. Is that him? Hey! Yeah. Look at that. Okay, and I guess the other guys are coming in a sec. So let's go full screen on Mr. JX3D because I reckon he wants to have a little play with his cameras. Now, that's the wrong one. There it is. Beautiful. Have you got all the cameras working? How are you, mate? You good?
I'm fine. I don't know how the audio is. Everything I see is delayed here.
The audio is fine for me.
Yeah. Is it synced?
Well, it is, yes. It's synced.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Good.
Depending on how loud you shout, though, might be an issue.
Okay, is it loud or?
It's kind of dynamic. Does that make sense? Like it's quiet, but then if you shout, it's really loud.
Okay, I'll turn it down a little bit.
Well, you can come down, but you can compress up if that makes sense. I think you could probably compress up and try and get the quieter bits louder and the louder bits quieter. Get that sausage happening.
Yeah, the problem is that there's also a compressor in the mixer, so I don't know if it's on or let's see.
So what microphone are you using? The one that's on your head there?
I'm using the headset.
Next to your face?
I can't remember what it's called.
Is it next to your face? So tap it.
Yeah.
Tap it for me because I want to make sure it's the one. The one that's next to your face. Sticking out of your earphones. Yeah, tap it.
Yeah.
Tap it with your finger.
It's terrible to wear.
Right, just bang it with your finger. Yeah, that's the one. Okay, just wanted to make sure it wasn't a webcam mic. Yeah, it's definitely the right one. Cool. All right.
Yeah, but does it sound like I'm away because it's omnidirectional?
Yeah, I kind of feel it's okay. I think we can get away with it. It's definitely not any bad. It's not. It's just a little bit dynamic. That's all. It's a little bit dynamic. So it will do. Okay. We only need your voice through it, so it doesn't have to be.
As long as I don't sound like Darth Vader or something. It's that close.
I don't have enough plugins in here. I was thinking about this the other day. Actually, I want to get probably the Novation. What's it? Launch control? No, the other one. Mini launchpad. The little launchpad mini that I've got, and it's just full of pads, right? Little tiny little pads. And what I'm thinking about doing is cheesing the show up and having samples assigned, like stupid sounds assigned, just making it really cheesy, and just changing it.
The solution is from Akai. Akai have a cheap solution for a sampler with I think 8 pads or something. I can't remember what it's called, but it's about €100.
Oh, I've already got the Novation. So, and I've already got the one that I use. I don't know if you can see this. It's actually probably, if you look at that top right hand view here, you can see my hand here, right? Top right hand corner. Can you see the Akai? That's the APC Mini. So this whole thing here controls the show. So if I pull that down, you'll hear me getting quieter and quieter and then louder and louder, right? That controls the show. So yeah, I will put another one kind of somewhere around nearby and have cheesy samples on it. Right, chatties. We can go up here. You know what we can do? We can press this button. Where were you? I think there. Okay. Bring the chatties back. Woohoo. And then we can jump up in the corner while we're chatting, and they can look and they can chat to us as well. Okay, cool. How's everyone's week been? What have we been up? We've got no topic today. I like it when we've got no topic because I don't have to prepare shit. and I've been busy.
I thought that was the topic, that we have no topic.
The topic is no topic.
Yeah.
I'm just having a quick look what the chatties are saying because sometimes they tell me things and they get angry if I don't read it. Yeah, okay, cool. I think that's cool. Now, there is a little bit of bad news, and that is that I don't have a name that synth episode this week because I haven't done one and I haven't got one sent to me. So we can't do it this week. But at the same time, I'm kind of trying to sort of troubleshoot. There's been a bit of a lag in getting the prizes out to people. So I've been dealing with emails during the week. There's people that have won and they haven't received the licenses yet. So we kind of need to sort that out, I think, before we give anyone a plug and launch anymore, because that would kind of be a bit wrong. Triple J, Triple M, he's saying Ranzee. G'day, mate. He's saying Ranzee. Roland have discontinued the MX1. I didn't know that. Do tell. Why have they discontinued the MX1? And maybe they're bringing in an MX2 out or an MX XL or what's the rumor? I mean, last week we had Darren try to tell us that there was a new PlayStation 3 come out, which was all complete BS. No, I'm not saying you're saying any BS there, Triple J, Triple M. But definitely do tell us what's the story with that. No more MX1. I mean, there's an MX1 flashing and it's not flashing in the background. I've got it turned off at the moment. There's an MX1 just there, above my finger, right there. And I actually like it. I've had it repaired once though. I did get it repaired. I had to send it off to Roland and they replaced the whole analog board on it because, I don't know, maybe I was too rough plugging things in or something. What are you doing? Are you making coffee or something? What's going on here? Tell us about the coffee. What is that? Is that tea or coffee?
It's tea.
It's tea. Nice. What sort of tea is that?
Earl Grey. I hate everything else.
Earl Grey. Ah, nice. I like Earl Grey. Actually, Earl Grey would probably be my second favourite tea.
What's your favourite?
I bet you can't guess what my favourite tea is.
Breakfast? I hate that tea.
No, green tea. Green tea is my favourite tea.
Okay.
Because it's one of the only teas that I actually really enjoy drinking just with hot water, and because a lot of the other teas I like Earl Grey, for example, I've got to have milk with it for me to enjoy it, and which is not the case for some other people. Some people like Earl Grey just with hot water. I like to have milk with it, and unfortunately, I'm lactose intolerant. So if I manage to remember to buy lactose-free milk, then I'm happy. But if I don't, then it's it sounds like motorbikes in the studio for the rest of the afternoon. Triple J, Triple M has said to me he doesn't know anything else other than the fact that it could be an MX2. That's all he knows. Thanks for sharing that with us, mate. That's good on you. Eddie's saying, check Messenger. I will. Wigoo got it correct. Said green. Yes. Green pea, yes. Green pea with green tea. There's a Japanese version of green tea that you can buy from, I don't know, if you go to your Asian type grocers that have got little bits of stuff in it. And I'm not a cooking person, right? So I have no idea what these little bits of stuff in it are, but they're kind of little, I don't know, kind of crunchy bits and almost like maybe some sort of nuts or something, but they put it in this particular green tea thing, and I just wish I could remember what it was called. But if you ever come across that, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's actually really, really nice. So it's green tea with, roasted rice. That's what it is. Good on you, Jezza. Roasted rice. And it is so, so, so nice. It's kind of got like well, not a burnt taste, but like I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like a savoury taste. A savoury taste, not a sweet taste, a savoury taste. It's really good. Someone said it's called sencha. Is that right? Sencha or kakagawa? Could be. Any of the Japanese-speaking people will definitely know.
I do like some chai tea too.
Chai tea's good, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. But I see it more as
Brooksy Brooksy's feeling left out.
Cocoa.
Brooksy, why are you feeling left out for, mate? You don't need to feel left out.
Thanks.
Where are you? There? No, that's not you. That's just your title. Why do I always do that? I've just got this brain problem, I think, sometimes. We need to put Darren somewhere when he comes in.
Can you hear me all right? Is this coming through sensibly?
Yeah, it's working. Yay. Good job.
Oh, bloody hell. Wow. Yeah.
And
Anyway, what do Aussies and Danes know about drinking tea anyway? Come on, get real. There is only Yorkshire tea, as Inverted Popes rightly pointed out.
Just be careful.
Stop making up all these silly
just
nonsense
be careful,
and all this other stuff.
because this place here is part of the Commonwealth. It is just another state of England and Britain, basically. We are fully part, we're still alleged to the Queen, we are part of the Commonwealth, so we know just as much as you guys. I'm sure they drink just as much tea in Wales as they do in Scotland, as they do in Northern Ireland, as they do in all the other Commonwealth states. And by the way, congratulations to Australia for winning the Commonwealth Games. Just thought I'd get that one in there. Including the netball.
I don't know what it is.
No, yeah.
It's not a thing we hear about in Denmark.
You don't get it in Denmark because you're not part of the. You've got your own, but you've got an Australian. You've got an Australian in your monarch, so you know.
Yeah, and
so it's all part of the big family
also
here.
Welcome in our European Song Contest.
Yes, so, that is true.
So
yeah,
we do have you along.
We like the Danes. They're good people. They're kind of they're in the friends group. You know what I mean? Like they're close. We're like this.
I can't get this microphone sensible today. Bloody hell.
We like you too.
The funniest thing I was watching with my daughter. I was watching the netball, which was I think it was the semi-final, which was England versus Australia. Right? It was the knockouts elimination semi-final, and obviously England lost because Australia went through to play in the gold medal against Jamaica. So when they had the crowd watching the gold medal game, guess who was cheering on Jamaica? Geez, the English are great losers, aren't they? It was really funny.
You make it sound as though I'm going to be bothered. I think I saw about 5 minutes of the whole thing. So.
Oh, really? I enjoyed the Commonwealth Games. I thought it was good.
Yeah, I watched the bowling.
You watched the bowling? Wow.
Well, I sat down to have some lunch, switched on the telly, and there were these people playing bowls, and apparently it was all part of the Commonwealth Games, and that's about all I saw. Oh, no, I did see some cycling.
Andy's here.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, we're going to probably have to go to this view, I reckon.
Hey, guys.
We're going to have to put Darren up top. We'll kind of adjust ourselves so we sort of sit in the middle. Now, by the way, if you're ever wondering, this is not Zoom. This is not a Zoom call. So I'm not doing this show with magic mirrors and Zoom calls, like a lot of those other shows where they have multiple guests. This is actually, this is probably the limit that I can fit as guest callers. But the cool thing about it is I can control each of you individually. You can have your own section. Hopefully all those work.
Woo.
Yep. Back to there. Look at that. Beautiful. And the chatties deserve a little corner. Just like we're all in our little corners, the chatties deserve a corner because they're just as important. I do need to go around and fix the little logos though. We've updated the logos now. It's not the Ranzee show anymore. Got to get rid of those.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
Wearing the dunce hat. So yeah, we've been talking about tea, we've been talking about Commonwealth Games, we've been talking about Base Station 2, which hasn't moved since last week. We've been talking about Danes, and I don't know if you guys remember this gentleman down below us. This is JX3D, or Henrik, as we like to well, that's what his mum called him anyway. He probably still goes by that name sometimes. Also, it's good to have the two Andys. We'll call Andy from England, we'll call him Brooksy, just to sort of separate the the difference as we affectionately call you Andy. You're okay with that, aren't you, Brooksy?
That's fine. Yeah. It's like
and Andy is on the other side of the ditch. He's in San Francisco, or the lake. What do you call it? The Bay Area.
Yeah, this is more the South Bay, but same basic thing.
Yeah. So early in the morning for you. When does daylight savings for you guys, was it end? Yeah, it's ending for you. October, isn't it?
Yeah, not for a while. Yeah.
So what does that mean then? Does that mean that it'll be
weekend.
It'll be a little bit more of a sleep in for you, Andy? Hopefully.
Well, what's an hour?
An hour. An hour.
I get like
5
a 2-hour
a.m. to
nap
6
before
a.m.
the show. That's an hour's nothing. So.
What I want to know is when we had the Commonwealth Games on, and I know unfortunately for Henrik it's probably not a Danish thing that people watch over there, but and the same for you, Andy, over in the US. But definitely the Canadians were up there. They were like getting really into it. What I want to know is, did you guys notice any synthesizers or a synthesizer sort of theme going on? Because it was in Birmingham, right? I've got that correct, haven't I? It was in Birmingham, yep. So in the closing ceremony, there was like...
Duran.
Duran. There you go. You got it. You picked up on it.
Yeah. Not been much else coming out of Birmingham since Duran. That's the day. Well, what have we got?
They're coming here in a couple weeks.
Yeah, UB40, Black Sabbath, and then I'm really struggling.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Well, there was like the two-tone. There was like the two-tone records from Coventry, wasn't there? But I can't.
I don't know.
Birmingham's a funny city. I'll probably offend a load of people here, but Birmingham, it hardly ever gets mentioned for what is Britain's second biggest city.
It's massive, isn't it? Yeah.
It hardly ever gets mentioned at all. It's very.
I'm
actually quite glad it's had a bit more.
Being a dad,
I got some ELO from Birmingham.
Were they?
Oh yeah,
okay.
That's actually true as well. Yeah. Jeff Lynne.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to really completely wreck all this synth and music talk. The person that I remember from Birmingham is Brum, the car.
Yeah, I don't know if I was muted before, but what about Robin Hood?
Yeah. What about him?
Sheffield.
Wasn't that Birmingham?
Sheffield.
No, it's up where
everybody thinks he was from.
That's Heaven 17.
No, Brooksy's way.
Yeah, Heaven 17. That's right.
Yeah, nothing.
I mean, everyone thinks Robin Hood's from Nottingham. He's not. It was Robert of Loxley, and Loxley is a village in Sheffield. And he just happened to go through Sherwood Forest on his way to get to Nottingham to go and win the silver arrow. So all that bloody crap in Nottingham about Robin Hood, they've got it all wrong. It was from Sheffield.
He is.
Of course he was. Yeah, come on, get it right, folks.
What was I going to say?
Statue from Nottingham to.
Yeah, because Merlin came from Manchester.
Heaven 17. Let's get back to that because that was a really good. That was a good segue, right? So for those guys who watched Pro Synth Network, was that yesterday for you guys? It was it was yesterday for me. Anyway, obviously there was Ben Simpson involved in the Heaven 17 concert, which I thought was really nice of him to actually post on his. If you're sort of a member of the Pro Synth Network Facebook page, you would have seen a little live performance there where they were singing and everything, and it sounded exactly like they sounded 40 years ago. It was incredible. So that was a nice little perler, as we would say in Australia. Can we have a little bit more level from Brooksy? Well, I can't because it's maxed out, so he's got to do it his end.
How's that? Is that any better?
Let's see what the chatties say.
Is that better? Is that coming through better? Have I got?
Now, breaking news just in. It looks like we may have a submission for Name That Synth, and it's just come in the nick of time. So, it's not as bad as you thought. We do have it. But the thing is that I'm concerned about is if I run it, I don't really know what's going on at the moment with the prizes because I'm not getting any emails back about what's going on with the prizes. So
John can be really busy. I can contact him.
I'm sure it's all fine. I think we'll just run it for another week. Let me just grab this link, and then we can copy that. 1 second. Just give me a second, people, while I prepare for the show that I should have prepared for. It's a professional thing here. What do you want? You want professional? It's not going to happen. How come it didn't copy the URL? You guys don't know the answer to that. But I do. Oh, okay. I've got to use my mouse.
Doing that, do you want a weird device interlude? I could show you some weird thing that I found in my storage.
Might as well. I'll go to you. Where are you? I can't remember. You this button, don't you? Yeah, there we go.
All right. Let me switch cameras here. You guys ever heard of a violet wand? Let me show you this thing. You probably hear it.
That just sounds so wrong.
Rave Dave.
It's actually messing up my transmission.
What are you doing?
Are you like getting rid of your freckles off your hands or something?
This is the wrong sort of show. This is paid stuff.
This is dermatology.
Andy, stop it. What?
It actually doesn't hurt that
It's
much.
not working.
But it makes these really cool sound effects.
If someone's not got the video up on the air, if you want to see my purple wand and then starts doing that.
I was actually going to...
down.
I'm actually sampling that and doing some video stuff with the little lightning bolts.
I mean, let people get the video up before
Probably
they
used
start
by
saying
weirdos. It was invented as a crazy medical device, but it's actually used by.
Just
a lot of
closing my
weirdos
eyes now.
I'm sure.
Oh, Darren.
Just get a mic like mine and use those things for flies, and then just.
Yeah.
Oh.
We don't have any flies at the moment.
It's actually fun to make some great sound effects and visual effects. So.
Andy,
Poor Andy. Andy's trying to be professional and everything, and then Darren just drops it in the gutter.
Well, I mean, it is a perfect name for for Dave's thing.
It probably. You could comb his fur with it.
Grace wants to know if you're going to use it in hardware jams.
Darren, it might be a bit of a shocking comb, though, after that.
One day I might, yeah.
Yeah.
But I had it, and I was
see
doing
what was
some
going on and not
cleanup recently, and I found the box. So, my brother collects a lot of weird antiques and gadgets and stuff, old radios and stuff.
Oh, here we
I came
go.
across this one day, and it was
Here comes the rain, people.
Never mind that. We're sweating like I don't know what.
Here, you guys have it. Have it. We don't want it. Enough.
We need it. We're in a drought.
I listened back to the stream last week. It was so annoying.
We've got hosepipe bands and everything.
I'm going to see if I can put a filter on this because it was really annoying. Listen to that. Wow. Bloody hell.
That's better.
Yeah, it stopped.
What have you just done?
It stopped. It didn't do anything.
That's better.
That's why it's better.
God.
Blimmin' heck. Plugins. It's got a denoise on it. I don't know. Maybe I could put a noise gate. Oh, it's calmed down for a bit. We'll just leave it for now. I don't want to wreck the stream. Oh my gosh. I had a little tear in my eye from laughing just then. Okay. Right, where are we up to? What's the time? 8:30 my time. Okay, cool. Oh no, here we go. It's back now. Go away. Right, so what we might do is to sort of do something weird, we might actually start kicking off into the main part of the show early. And that way we've got more time to muck around at the end, I think. What do you guys think of that? Let's just kick into it, eh? It's 8:30, so we've been...
Look around, I might just faint, I think. It's that hot here.
We've been... Well, you can come down here anytime, mate. It's nice and friggin' freezing cold, that's for sure.
How cold
Right.
is freezing cold?
Freezing
15
cold.
degrees centigrade.
What's cold?
Well, overnight it was freezing, as in 0, and during the day it got to about 10 maximum. So that is pretty cold.
That's all right.
Not bad for Australia.
Fine. That's nothing. That's t-shirt weather.
That's summer in Scotland.
23 here. Yeah.
The only place in the world
Jesus.
where you go to the beach and you come back out of the water purple. That's why Brave likes going up to Scotland for a swing.
Yeah, he loves Scotland.
Hello to all the Scottish viewers. We love you. Part of my family comes from Scotland, so I'll never say a bad word about them. Okay, what we're going to do is we are going to launch straight into the hellos. So we'll start with Darren, because we've already rolled the stinger for the start of the show. So Darren, hello. How are you and how's your week been?
The week's been damn hot. I mean, it is hot. I know what you're going to say. You have it hot over there. We don't know nothing.
Well,
when you go out of your studio...
You just took the piss out of me for it being cold.
Yeah, I know, but when you go out the studio at like 34, 35 degrees and then you go straight into 30... We've got nowhere to go cool. Everywhere it's the same heat just hitting you. You can't sleep. You can't go anywhere. It's dreadful. On the week, yes, I've not done much in the studio. It's just too hot and stuffy in this room. I tell a lie because some of my modular has gone.
You did say that was going to happen. Now, is it gone as in permanent gone, or is it gone as in just you moving about?
It's gone as in it's gone because I've decided, since I've not used my modular, I'm going to do this, my mutable instrument. So,
on
my
that's
nifty
very
case,
nice.
I've turned it into just a mutable instruments case. It's all in, that's the only problem. It's annoying me. So that's why some of my rack's looking a little bit open. So that's just going to be, I'm just going to have that as like a, almost portable type of instrument. And if you noticed, there was all purple cables because Rave said I had to have purple cables before I used it. So I had to get quite a few purple cables. But other than that, I might put it on later and record it for a video tomorrow. Saves me trying to come up with something. But yeah, other than that, not a lot. It's been too hot. Work too hot. And I've got the fan on here. Trying to keep me cool. Other than that, yeah, fine.
Darren,
Yeah.
Rave just called me. He said, "Stop playing with my biggest fan." Anyway, we are going to go on and say a big hello to Andy. I think it is. Yes, Andy. Hello, Mr. Andy. How's your week been?
Hey, how's it going? I've been all right. Just typical work shit, and I did take a day off to do some. Well, I found that thing I just showed you, doing some studio cleanup thing. I promised Mr. Wiggly I'd do a big studio tour, so I was kind of making things more presentable in here to do on an upcoming show. So
you put the skull there.
I found some things. Yeah, that's my new Alas Poor Yorick prop here. And
So you have to do a Macbeth rendition now.
But and I also just for giggles,
Hamlet.
Is this working? I also installed this silly thing here. What if it shows up on the disco ball light extravaganza?
Oh, I like that.
Very silly.
It's probably not coming through on camera very well, but I can see it's flickering off your head and a few other places.
It's missing one of the lights. That's why. Hold on. Let me. It's missing. For some reason that doesn't work too well. Oh, that light is not reading it. There we go.
You've gone all spangly.
No.
Look at that.
Now I'm getting red and green. It's Christmas lights, red and green.
It's definitely not monkeypox, is it?
And you can change the colors and all that stuff. So.
Okay. What's the light?
Yeah.
What's the light above your head? That one, the big thing there, behind you, but above your head.
That's one of the lights. So as you guys know who do lighting and stuff, disco ball above my head for probably a couple years now has done nothing because I forgot to buy lights for it. You don't get reflections if you have no lights, right?
Yep.
So I got these lights on Amazon recently. So I'll finally make the disco ball work. And so I bought a motor for it, bought these little lights, and so little remote controls and just silly stuff,
You know, you can just buy.
There you go.
You know, you can just buy like a Roland MX1 or a System 8, and that did all the disco lights for you as well.
Well, there's that, but I mean, not up on the ceiling, right?
Oh,
And also, I have a DMX thing. I'm working on a DMX thing as well for some different kind of lights because the OPZ has a DMX channel in it, so you can sync it with your music very easily.
I'm kind of thinking, like, look at Darren's. Darren's gone up to the ceiling, see? And, you know, you've got a bit of space above those keyboards there. You could do it, Andy. You just got to find that in you.
I mean, these are tall enough already. If you saw me stand up next to them, if they go any taller, I can't really play the keyboards, and because you can't see the screens, you can't see the controls, and I don't like stuff flat against.
God, I can't see them when they're right next to me.
Darren just throws Dave at them. He literally just chucks him, and he goes smash into it. Yeah. And that's how you get some of those awesome sounds.
I have racks all over the room, 3-tier racks. So I mean, I go vertical as much as I can.
Yep.
So it's cool.
It was just a joke, by the way. You don't actually have to do it. No. But I mean,
no, I mean, I know a lot of people do it because it is a good use of space if you want to go vertical all the way up. But have you seen some of those studios, the really like narrow corridors, where they literally have things almost up to the ceiling? So you have to use a ladder or a step stool just to get to the top one.
I did actually see a photo where this guy mounted his synths like horizontally. I don't know. Would you call that horizontal? It's vertical, right? So he mounted his synths literally flat against the wall. So the only way to play them was like vertical, basically. And so he had he tiled them on the wall, and I thought, wow, that's interesting.
I think a lot of those guys never play those synths. They just MIDI. They have a master MIDI and they just control them. They never touch those. They just have them on display.
Yeah, I think so. Just showing off. Hendrik, you're next. Big hello to you. Is your mic working?
Big hello. I don't know.
It's working.
It moves around. I have both glasses, the headset mic, and my hearing aid on the ears, and it's not possible. If I didn't have the headphones, they would all fall off.
The headphones holding everything together. It's working. Yeah.
So the microphone is moving around all the time.
Yeah.
It's so annoying.
Yeah.
Now the wire.
The cable's getting into it. Yeah. It's might be. I mean, I don't know if you really need it to be left and right on the right ears, but you could probably swap the cable over. That might fix your problem. Or do that. Yeah. Fixed. Look at that. See, troubleshooting on Synth Geekery.
Yeah.
How's your week been?
I have some rip-outs in the video, and that's because I have a new USB hub, 16 ports, and it's very unstable with providing power to the cameras. So I will have to change that later. But that's why I have the rip-outs on the video.
Look, while we're talking about USBs, I do recommend that you do your research on the chipset that the USB hubs have on them. So there's USB hubs that have got absolute rubbish chipsets on them, and they are basically literally daisy chaining the same USB channel across all the ports, and that ends up being just complete rubbish. And there's proper ones that are actually giving you good voltage to each. So you've got power, and you've got nice generous voltage. They're powered. Usually the powered hubs are the ones that do this. And also the data throughput on them is really important. So check the specs, and you'll find that the better ones have that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I usually have a cable, a USB cable I call direct. It's labeled direct. That's the only cable I use when I have to do firmware updates. It's a few meters long, so I can plug it into everything.
Yeah.
It's always free for that.
I do the same actually. Smart.
Things on the hub are things that doesn't need data working all the time or power working all the time. but I do need the hubs. That's also why I really can't. I really don't like to switch to Mac because there's so few ports on a Mac.
Well, I've got
I need more hubs.
I've got 2 hubs hanging off my Mac, both of them USB-C, and they're Belkins. If you're wondering what brand I use, they're actually powered as well, so not bad. They do the job.
I have 3 hubs hanging off mine and
good lead.
2 hard drives.
It's the pain us Mac users are well and truly accustomed to. No, it's good to have you on, mate, and like I said, always welcome. But never last and never least is Brooksy. How are you, mate? You looking well? You sounding better this week?
Yes. Feeling a lot better this afternoon. This morning I was feeling absolutely shocking. Still got a problem in my eye. Still keeps giving out loads of gunk and sticking together. So I don't know what's going on with that. We'll have to pay a visit to the doctors next week. And I think it's all to do with the heat and stuff. But it's just another ailment to add to the ever-growing list. And yeah, so this week, what have I been doing? Been quite lazy actually. Been having a lot of sort of just me time. I've been over to done family things and looking after the old gent things, and played an EMOM event on Thursday night in Leeds at a really interesting venue called Wharf Chambers, which was fascinating. Really enjoyed it. Again, a different sort of event completely. And one thing that happened, right, there was a guy who was, I've got to tell you this one because you might have seen photos round about, but one guy, he had just a laptop, and on his laptop was a program into which he was inputting moves from a chess game, and those moves generated MIDI data causing changes to happen in a program which he devised, and for sounds to evolve according to the moves that were made in the game. Now, it arranged for someone to play him on the night, but that person wasn't there, was ill and hadn't made it. So I said I'd give him a game of chess. So the first thing I did at this EMOM night was, when he was on, I had a game of chess in front of all the people. We'd got a little chess clock on his phone set to 7 minutes each, and we played a game of chess. We moved the pieces and he put the moves in. Really interesting thing to do. I'd love to hear how it develops, because I was actually thinking it'd be even better if he'd got one of those electronic chess sets where because they must be able to tell what the piece is and where it moves to, and output that information. I thought that'd be a really interesting development. I thought that was a very ambitious thing, and it was dead interesting. So, well, yes, I played that EMOM event on Thursday, and when I'm done with this tonight, I shall be going over to Grace's, and we're going to do another jam for Hardware Jams. And I've also submitted the entry for the next EMOM, the virtual EMOM, which is on, I think, the 26th of August, something like that, the end of August. So that's all submitted and done.
Awesome. Sounds good. Sounds like you're busy.
And I keep sneezing. Sorry, that's another thing. When I started doing a Name That Synth video, but got very, very stuck with it. And you're right, it takes far longer than you think it's going to. It's a work in progress, and it will happen. Yeah. Eventually.
If it gets too hard for us to do it each week, we may have to scale it back to every second week or something. But luckily we've got a saviour this week, so we do have another one, which is good news. Well, it's nice to have you all here, and obviously it's always nice to have these guys here, the chatties. Obviously, we would like to say a special hello to Future World Machines, Keith in Watford, Kent as well, and also David, because they're our channel members. And also, we would like to special mention to all the Patreons that are part of this group as well. Some of them are both Patreons and channel members, which is just absolutely beautiful to have you guys supporting Synth Geekery, which is really, really good. But also, hello to all you chatties. Jump in and say g'day if you haven't yet, if you're lurking about in the background. I know what numbers I can see in the chat room, and I know what numbers are actually watching, because YouTube actually tells me. So I know you're there. You're there watching, and you need to jump into chat and you need to say hi. And then once you do, you'll find a nice little synth community where, you know, your friendships will grow from. And who knows, you might be that person that has something that one of the other people in the chat is interested in, or it might be vice versa. So these things happen. It happened to me when I used to watch Sonic State. So all those many years ago when I started watching Sonic State. And a lot of these people that you see in the chat room are friends that I made, online friends that is, through Sonic State. So, you know, a lot of us probably have met as a result of that. See, look, you've got Teo Sophie Music saying, hi, lurkers. See, look, follow the lead, right? Look at that, follow the lead. Neil Wharton saying hello. Follow the lead, people. Get your name up on the screen while you can. It's always fun. I always find it fun to do that. Anyway, we are going to go straight into the main segment. We don't have a massive amount of news today, but we do have our regular funny side to start off with. Yes, this one was sent in by Makeshifter. Big hello to Makeshifter, by the way. He's been awesome sending in videos and all sorts of stuff as well. Sorry, honey, I can't take you out tonight. My dance card is full. And there's the Roland dance card. I like that one. I thought it was quite funny. And it kind of gets you sort of thinking, hang on a minute, what's a dance card? You know, it's a term that people use. I haven't heard that term for a long time, actually. My dance card is full. That's a definite.
I've never heard it.
It's funnier since it's a ROM card,
movie, but never heard it.
Yeah, how do you fill up a ROM card, or how do you empty a ROM card would be probably a more pertinent question, right? You could definitely short one out, that's for sure. I've seen someone do that. Not a funny at all. Next one, the compressor is like your mother. I'll let you guys read that. Now, while you're reading that, I want to give a plug to Future World Machines, who actually provided this with this one. So thanks for Future World Machines, who actually is in the chat. That one we took out of our Discord group. See, you can't hide anywhere. You put memes in there, they end up on the show. And then there's this one. Yes, every synth demo that you think, hang on a minute, is that guy using Strymon reverb? Yes. Good old Scooby-Doo reference there, eh? That's good. That's good. I used to watch. You used to watch Scooby-Doo, didn't you, Andy? In the young days.
Probably a little bit too much.
Yeah. Scooby snacks. And this one. Robbie's not. I haven't seen Robbie today. This one I got for Robbie, and I'm disappointed he's not on the show. Robbie, try a bit harder. These FM algorithms. Are they in the room with us right now? I love it. That guy that's kind of sitting there with the pen and paper, he looks a little bit like... see if you guys think the same thing as me. Don't you reckon he looks a little bit like George Lucas? It's not George Lucas, though. Or am I just saying things?
And the other guys is from Cheers for Fears.
The
FM guy.
Which one? Which guy from T? Are we talking about Ronald, or are we talking about Chris?
Roland.
Probably Chris.
Kurt. Roland and Kurt.
Roland. Did I say Ronald? Sorry, yeah, Roland. Isn't that Chris?
Roland.
I thought it was Chris.
Orzabal and Kurt Smith.
Kurt Smith. I thought it was Chris Smith. You're probably right, Andy. You're always right instead of me. I said Macbeth before, and you corrected me with Hamlet as well. So
yeah. Alas, poor Yorick is definitely from Hamlet.
Oh yeah, I definitely had a fraudulent slip there. There's no doubt about it. Actually, speaking of fraudulent slips, what was your favourite fraudulent slip of the week? The memes. Which one would you go for? Would you go for the dance card, the compressor, the Strymon with the Scooby-Doo reference?
I quite like the compressor one. I thought that was cleverly done. I like the compressor.
Compressor. Tell us in the chat. Compressor.
The compressor is good for remembering how it works. So
how your wife works, or how it works?
I'm not sure, but yeah. But I like the psychological joke too. So
Two people in the chat are saying FM. You can see there. A lot of people. Your name here is saying FM. Sasquatch is saying FM too. I kind of thought FM myself. I'm kind of going with FM. Oh, I don't know. I kind of did like the Scooby-Doo one as well. The Strymon one. Oh, I don't know. Oh, and I also like Future World Machines ones. I don't want to take that away from you. I thought it was pretty good. Oh, geez, I can't make my mind up. That's why there's 4. Do you see? Do you see how my brain works each week? Anyway, let's do this. News. Hooray! And let's watch it all stuff up, as it does every week. Yes, as you can see, we are going to talk about something that's not written there. But give me a sec, I'll fix it up.
As always. Well, why would we do anything different?
We're not going to. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Okay, here we go. Manage.
Finance it is.
All right. Okay, click on there, and then which one's that on? That one is on 2, so this one needs to be on 3. Oh, it's going to work now. Look at that. Faded Instruments, faded toolbox. There's really not a lot of news, guys, out there. There is a bit. You'll find the more important news coming up in a sec. Not that this is not important, but the more important news, which we kind of need to talk about in more depth. But this is cool. This is a bit of fun stuff. So these guys are actual plugin developers, and they've actually now plunged into modular hardware. Good luck, guys, by the way. Big shout out to Faded Instruments, by the way. I really like their kind of launch. I think it's called colourful launch with their toolbox. They're 1U eurorack modules. Now, remembering too, there's 2 different types of 1U formats out there. There's the IntelliGel 1U, and then there's the, what's the other one? Is it the Dope for one, or is it the
other one?
The other one.
Pulp Logic.
Pulp Logic, yeah, that's it.
The other one.
Yep, that's the one. So generally speaking, I could be speaking out of place here, but I kind of go with the IntelliGel one. That's the one I feel that's kind of the safer one to go with. But I could be wrong. People might shoot me down for that. Anyway, doesn't matter. I don't know which ones these are, by the way. But what you've got is there's mults, there's switcher-team dual switches there with mutes, there's attenuators with attenuators and mixers, there's catch bays. Kind of useful, right? Because I kind of feel if you're getting into modular, the 1U world is actually a kind of cool thing. It's kind of like a strip above your 3U. That if you don't have a 1U strip, because you've gone with a proprietary case or something like that, if you're building your own cases, build a 1U strip in. Has anyone seen these guys, just out of curiosity?
Hadn't, no. But you're right, the sort of little utility modules that you can just put in a space. I don't have any 1U in these racks at all.
Yep.
But I've got some plans about converting a case that I've got, thinking about it. And I was definitely thinking of including a 1U rail. Now, one thing I don't know, do the 1U tiles, the 1U modules, do they just draw the same power? Is it just they're the same Eurorack power connectors and they plug into your bus board?
They have a different connector.
They draw the same power, but they have a different connector, as Andy said.
A different connector on the back.
And the 2 standards
they plug
all
into your
different
bus
connectors.
Yeah, there is 2 standards, but that's what I was saying before. But the IntelliGel versus the other one, so go with the IntelliGel because they're more of a standard.
Couldn't they really? Because if you've got one size of rail,
one accounts for the flange of the rail and one doesn't. Yeah. So.
Yeah. You do have size limitations, and those connectors can get in the way. Do you guys want to see? They've got a little video. Do you want to see that? They do announce it on a video. It's only a couple of minutes, not even a minute. Yeah. Okay, so IntelliGel, there we go. Yeah, that's cool.
That's quite funky.
Handy little switch. handy, those patch bays. Buffered. All right, so there you go. You got a little intro to the modules. There's quite a lot of them. Price-wise, that was going to be the next question, wasn't it? Price-wise, 33 US to 45, 46 US, somewhere around there. So they're pretty cheap, and you can pre-order them now from Faded Instruments. I'll give you guys. There's a link in the blog article that you'll be able to see at the end of the show to get to that. So, yeah, I don't know. If you're thinking about building your own case, definitely think about putting a 1U channel across the top or the bottom, or maybe one at the bottom, one at the top. Because, you know, for me, it's kind of, sometimes you kind of feel when you've got these vertical modules, you kind of feel like you need to patch something in. Like one of the things that I liked about when I got the the Nifty keys, right, is there's a little sort of, same with the Nifty case as well, there's that little sort of strip across the top where you've got some useful functions on it. Can I give you guys a demonstration of that? I think I could. If we went to here, there you go. These things across the top here, right? They aren't 1Us, but they are definitely really, really handy by the fact that they're just above the modules. So what 1U does is that brings that kind of handiness to the table. So definitely big plug for Faded Instruments with their Faded toolbox. So yeah, check them out. Anyone else want to have a quick mention? I thought Andy, you might be kind of keen on these.
Yeah, actually, just a quick side note for anyone who hasn't tried 1U stuff at all. I have several IntelliGel cases that have the 1U strip in them. And there were a couple of Pulp Logic I wanted to try. So for the hell of it, I said, I'll just get one and see how it works. The Pulp Logic is a slight bit taller. So you can screw it in there. It kind of sits at an angle. Also, the power connector is different. So I had to find some guy in Etsy who made a converter cable to work on the IntelliGel. Because that's another annoying thing, is the power cable is actually different. There was like a force sensor for like a pressure sensor thing I wanted to try. And it also took up less horizontal room than the IntelliGel version. And I wanted to try Pulp Logic just to see what's the real difference. And it's doable. It's not going to make a pretty well-seated, 1U module. It's going to sit at an angle a little bit. And you got to get a different power connector. But it does work. But yeah, I love the 1U stuff. People are mentioning in the chat, Steppy by IntelliGel is a great step sequencer that fits nicely in 1U. It's better than the vertical one. The 3U one is just not as cool, I don't think. And they have a bunch of cool utility modules and distortion modules and other kinds of stuff that are pretty useful in the 1U format. So if you have 1U, it's a fun thing to use. If you don't, I don't necessarily have to go out there and make sure you get it. But if you already have it, it's a useful thing for sure.
Awesome. Brilliant. Okay, now next on the news, a little bit of sad news, but I kind of feel like we kind of already knew this was going to happen. I don't know. Where WMD is another one to shut their doors. I kind of like the way these guys have gone about it. I mean, as sad as it is that they are going to close, because they had some amazing stuff, like some really, really, really intuitive ideas. Like the one that you're actually looking at, the Metron, is actually cool. But the way they're going about it is they are going out and releasing 3 new modules and then basically closing their door. I'll talk about the 3 modules in a sec, but just a quick thing about these guys going. If you don't know who WMD are, they are based in Denver, in Colorado. And Alex Anderson is kind of like their chief engineer sort of guy. It's basically to do with spiraling costs and the lengthening component, shortages and the lead times to get stuff, from China or for wherever it's getting manufactured, so that they can actually get their products out. And basically, it's just they're being inundated with people who want stuff. They literally can't make it because they just can't get the gear. This is so common with a lot of synth companies. Even companies like Behringer are actually facing the same issue. So, a lot of people are saying, why haven't you released such and such yet? Well, the answer isn't because they haven't wanted to. The answer is because they physically haven't been able to, even with owning certain chip factories and stuff like that. So back to WMD, they've actually been around for about 17 years or something. It's hard to, the time flies. When you think about it, 17 years is probably pretty quick in this game, to get products out, to support them, to bring new products. By the time you've done, I don't know, whatever, how many products they've got, I can't actually remember the number, but they've done it quite a lot. What they're saying now, with their new modules, they are going to put some stuff on sale. Like, for example, the Performance Mixer and the Metron will go on sale with 30% off. And they've only got a limited number of 500 pieces. So I think it may even be sold out already from what I worked out. Let's go quickly, because it's related. We'll go quickly to the next graphic. I don't know why it's not showing the next graphic. So the next graphic is supposed to be, let's go back to us. The next graphic is supposed to be the 3 modules. Why is that not showing? Did I not do that properly?
As I read their blog, it was not a 100% goodbye. It was a goodbye, but we may return if everything turns later.
They're hanging about in the background, so they'll keep all their drawings. I think they're limited in their support and things like that. They're definitely musicians as well, these guys as well, so they'll be around. Anyway, these modules are what they're bringing out. The Subway is an 8-input, 1-output crossfader, which allows you to plug 8 inputs into it and crossfade it with that nice big knob up the top. Legion is an analog oscillator with extra outputs and interesting inputs to give you kind of sort of a unique flavour. I do like the look of that, actually. That's actually pretty cool. I may get myself that. I'm a bit of an oscillator fan, because I'm always after different tones that get generated and if they sound different. Orion is a phaser, which, guess what? Also I like. So these are like literally right up my alley, these 3 modules. It's my world. Okay, quick thing. There's a limited run of 600. Orion is $239 US, Legion is $499, and Subway is $269. So some of these are a little bit out of my price, but we'll see what happens. I might be able to squeeze some dollars out of the wallet. Do you guys, any of you guys interested in these?
Again, they're a bit expensive. WMD's always been on the expensive side, though. Really quality, interesting modules, really interesting range. Yeah, exactly. They are. I think it's sad, but it's understandable. I mean, the idea to sort of like suspend trading rather than the idea of cease trading is probably some comfort, because hopefully it will pass. I mean, these economic situations don't tend to last forever, but who knows how long this will go on for. So hopefully they'll be back in the future if things do look up. So
I think this is the way a lot of smaller, more boutique companies will go as well.
They're probably going to have to, aren't they?
And and I think also that might make the second-hand market go up, because people will be wanting things that they can't get hold of anymore.
Well, it's done that with Mutable. True. That's definitely happened with Mutable. Yeah, it happened with the guy that died, whatever his name is.
Yeah, Strymon modules.
Strymon, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, they went silly. They were already expensive, and they just went really silly.
Yeah, his are already expensive.
Has any of you guys got the Chimera? That was that drum module we showed a few years ago on here. I really wanted to get that. I've completely forgotten about that. and now I've just realised it's WMD. I'm like, oh, it's a little drum module. It's a good one.
I have a few of the things. They make great products, so they have a decent fan base. So coming back will be probably not so bad if they decide to come back later.
They're definitely one of the bigger modular guys. If you look at the, they
don't just make modular. The Geiger counter module I have is also a guitar pedal too. So, the Geiger counter distortion started out as a guitar pedal.
Yeah, they make guitar pedals. I forgot to mention that. Yeah. It's not just. They actually make eurorack modules, guitar pedals, and they also do things like modular accessories and also some soft goods as well. So I want to get into the chatties involved in this because I know some of the chatties kind of have opinions about this stuff. Let us know, guys, in the chat if you guys are WMD fans or if you were planning on getting some WMD stuff. Maybe it's time to sort of burn the credit card a bit heavier. I'm not sure. It's not going to help them, out of anything. If you're kind of feeling benevolent, I don't think that's what this is about. This is more about they literally would sell as many as they could if they could, but they literally can't keep up with the demand of the manufacturing. So basically how they're doing it is they're saying, look, we've got 600 of these, 500 of those. Whoever gets in gets it. Once it's gone, it's gone. And then we're closing up. So yeah. Yeah. As Kent says, it's hitting everyone pretty hard. It really is. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a larger sort of synth company go soon. I don't know anything, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see one of the bigger ones go. Because honestly, what do you guys know about this? Like, I would have thought, we know that there was that chip factory that burnt down in Japan, right? So I would have thought, how many years ago was that now? It's probably getting close to 3-4 years ago now. Surely they've been able to build another one by now. So have they, or is it not?
Yeah, but it's TSM, though, isn't it? It's TSM's most of the stuff coming from Taiwan,
right?
And because of the China issue now, that's just gonna just make it even worse. So who knows? I mean, obviously, the thing that happened in Europe didn't help neither, because that just made all the world sort of close down and think, well, wait a minute. And now China, well, it's like that, isn't it? So you've got Taiwan, which was when it's something like 75% of all chips and stuff come from Taiwan anyway. So that's just it's just on the edge, and people are sort of drawing in, and it's just hard to get things now. So like you're saying, smaller companies who are like you say, I mean, I call WMD small company because it is compared to things like Roland and things like that.
They're definitely a small company.
And to get it out, it's probably costing them so much for the amount that they can actually get out there for what they've got. Even the shipping costs and everything of getting this stuff is gone up, and you can only put your price on your goods for so much before people say, I'm not buying it, because they can't afford it neither. At which point it comes to, what's the point in making it at the moment? Like Andy says, it shouldn't last forever, but the problem is, how long is it going to last for? It could be 5 years, because they're looking at next year being even worse.
So what happened to I thought they rebuilt a factory in Japan to replace the one that burnt down, and I also thought Intel announced that they were building a factory in the US to manufacture chips over there, because they wanted to bring it back to Silicon Valley.
Somebody's just mentioned that in the chat, that it's going to take a year to bring those factories online in the US. They're talking about two.
I know Intel are definitely building one, because it was a big thing about getting chip manufacturing back into Silicon Valley, because that was kind of like, it was one of the big things the US were good at. Yep.
Yeah, when I was a kid, Fairchild Semiconductor was right down the street. So. Yeah.
Yuli's got cool. What's it called? Cool Audio. In Japan, China. That's what I'm thinking. Oops, that's the wrong button. The Intel thing was more about the nanometer race, wasn't it? It was more about the CPU nanometer race.
TSM are going down to 3 nanometer, which Apple are going to 3 nanometer next year, and Intel were well behind. I think they were 7 at one point, or even 9.
So really, the issue is Taiwan here, isn't it? That's the big issue.
Yeah,
and
that's another reason why.
So Taiwan hasn't lost any factories to fire though. That was the factory in Japan that went down. So really, the issue is the problem between China and Taiwan. It's basically that they're stopping trade or something.
It's that and the cost of shipping everything out now, because the price of fuel and everything just combines to it. It's just ridiculous. So what cost like 30p to get across the world now is like 3 or 4 quid, which when you add that on everything, it's just ludicrous. So you've got that, and like you say, in China being and they're doing the blockade at the moment.
Not to mention potential war if US pushes the Taiwan issue.
Well, they're pushing the Ukraine issue too. So I don't know. You know what I mean? Like some of these things, they just need to sort of, step out maybe. let them play out
but they're not
their own way.
That's the problem.
Yeah, I know.
You're pretty much in a no-win situation on both sides, aren't you?
I kind of feel like
whether it's the wrong side or the right side.
Do you guys kind of feel the same thing? We're kind of on the verge. It might be the slowest thing that happens, but we're kind of on the verge of another revolution. Like, they had the Industrial Revolution, they had the Tech Revolution. I kind of feel like there's got to be a fix, and someone's going to be big and bold about the fix to this. Like, the fix is definitely to do with fossil fuels. The fix is definitely, like some other form of transport that doesn't require fossil fuels. That sort of thing.
Russia shut themselves in the foot, aren't they? No matter how much they make from it, because everyone now is literally just
Skynet is coming.
On, it is. I think there's going to be a massive crash before we get anything.
The inflation revolution. That's exactly what's happening right now. Everyone is just going crazy. They're all using inflation as an excuse, but you guys kind of feel the same as me? Like half of the inflated stuff doesn't need to be inflated. They're just using it as an excuse to sort of money grab. It's a bit annoying, isn't it?
Oh, I think very much.
Oh yeah, a lot of the stuff is still actually cheap. It's just like you say, when it gets on the market and everyone's bidding for it, it becomes ridiculous.
We saw this though, didn't we? Didn't we? We saw this. We had a warning with this. We saw this with the graphics cards. Like if you guys are into gaming, and they had the graphics card shortages, like when they had the Bitcoin mining, right? We saw it. We had that as a warning, and now the rest of the world is basically short of stuff, and I guess computer chips and that are becoming a commodity, aren't they? As opposed to the opposite thing that used to happen.
It feels like you're on an old roller coaster where it goes tick, 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 and we're just waiting for that point where we hit the top and then just go.
And then we just
find out what happens on the rest of the ride.
Well, what we don't want is a Great Depression again, do we? We don't want. When was that? The 30s, the 1930s, and what comes after those things? The last Great Depression we had, and then we had a World War. So, sometimes they use all these excuses too, don't they? Anyway, getting back to synthesizers. Hopefully you guys out there in the world can buy stuff and still make your music, or maybe just hold on to what you've got. Don't sell it. Don't sell it.
Use VSTs because you already have a computer.
Well, if you can get, like, the problem I've got is my computer is I reckon it's getting close to 5 years old now, and I want to upgrade it, and I haven't been able to because the graphics card that I want to upgrade it to has not come down in price. Even when it was released like 3 years ago, it's still ridiculously expensive. And so I might as well just hope that this one stays active and not break down on me.
Oh, you said it now.
Yeah, I've said it now. That's it. Dave's gonna have to come over and pull some cables at the back. Pull the knobs off. Yeah. The graphics card that I want to get is the 3080. And they just, like, the price that I paid, I've got a 1080, that shows you how old this machine is. The price that I paid for the 1080 is way, way, way less than what they're charging for a 3080, which is just crazy. So, I don't know. One of my friends told me that one of the best ways to get a graphics card at the moment is to buy a pre-built system like a Dell or, dare I say, I'm not going to give Dell a plug or anything, but like a pre-built system like that. And then you just pull the graphics card out and trash the system and put it back in you because it ends up being cheaper. So that's crazy, isn't it? That we have to do things like that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's just crazy. Someone's got all the chips. Yes.
They're in the freezer and they ain't coming out.
The freezer. There used to be this.
Well, look at printers where the printer is the cheap part, the ink is the expensive part, right? But you'd think the printer would be more expensive.
Oh, this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I always ask. Yeah. It's hilarious,
the
isn't it?
printer becomes a throwaway item. It's all about the ink.
Scan that QR code. These are the Canon, that's my little bubble jet that I've got, inkjet, sorry, not bubble jet, that I've got here that does my CD printing that I do. And I use it to print other stuff as well. But it's so expensive. The ink is so expensive. It's like, this is Australian dollars, so halve it for pounds, but it's about $140 for a set of ink for it. So what's that, 70 pounds for a set of ink. And there's kind of 3 different versions of it. You can get like a, small, medium and large or extra large or something like that. And the tanks on them are, they're the same size. They're literally the same size, but they fill them up with more ink, so they're heavier or there's more ink in them. I think there's a bit of a scam going on there, to be honest. So yeah, you buy your printer for $10. You subscribe to their ink forever.
Yeah,
first taste is free.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I've got to use inkjets because we work in the photography industry, and you can't do photographs don't, and lasers don't work. Laser printers don't work. It just does not happen. So yeah. That is another discussion, isn't it? The chatties are saying use a laser printer. It's cheaper. They are. We do use a laser printer for black and white printing, but we can't do any inkjet stuff. Sorry, we can do. We only can use inkjet
thing,
stuff.
or is that too old-fashioned?
What's that? Sorry.
Dye sublimation, is that still a thing, or is that too old?
Oh no, you can do that, but that's the chemical stuff, right? You can do it. Yeah, but I don't think the machines are very cheap. Yeah.
No, they aren't. Yeah. I know they got rid of thermal wax. That was crap.
Oh, Henway, like this comment here. Whenever you go to a takeaway store, do you guys have that new law in your local area where they've completely done away with plastic disposable things? Like, so no plastic straws, no plastic cutlery, no plastic cups, no plastic plates.
Not quite, but it's getting there.
We've had it happen here. It's probably been about a year now. Plastic bags as well was like a long time ago. But basically they've just gone back to killing trees, what Henway's saying. Because everything now is wooden or paper or cardboard, right? So you get wooden cutlery or bamboo cutlery. It's nothing to do with synths, by the way. Sorry, completely on
paper straws that disintegrate at the coffee place. So I have those little collapsible metal straw.
Yeah, we bought a pack. Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
Like within about 6 months, when you guys got
coming from Ukraine or
when you guys lose your plastic straws, within 6 months you'll be buying metal straws and keeping a straw in your car. You will not use those paper straws. They are horrible. They actually taste bad. You can actually taste the paper when you're drinking something from it.
Well, they just fall apart. I mean, they get soaked and then they just kind of don't work anymore. So.
Well, they used to have them in the 70s. They had paper straws in the 70s and they got rid of them.
They did.
I can remember it.
They forgot how to make them.
Yeah.
It's a lost art.
I hope no one's feeling down today because otherwise...
There will be someone right now who's going, stop your whinging, we're trying to save the planet, these plastics are bad, blah, blah, blah. And I agree, like that side of it is good, but let's do better.
If you remember, the old cellophane was actually made of cellulose, but then they stopped doing that when plastics became popular, and now we have all this plastic that lasts forever. We should go back to using cellophane because it's biodegradable.
Well, they could use the waste out of all the grey water systems in your cities, right? All your grey water systems have got people who are tipping their frying pan fat down the drain that's going into their grey water waste, and it's literally just these. I forget the name of it. Someone who works in a water sort of, corporation type job will tell you that massive, huge blobs of oily fat that just literally...
Fatbergs.
What are they called?
Fatbergs.
Fatbergs, yeah, that's it. Fatbergs.
Yeah.
They should make cellulose like containers out of those, because that would be exactly what they'd need, or something like that. Or, you know, yeah. Completely off topic. Sorry, guys. Just tell me to shut up if I'm off topic. But look at the chats, they love it. See, corn-based,
Yeah, well, like
chicken.
is next on sort of save the planet.
Planet doesn't need saving. The planet's going to go on and on and
No,
on
the
and on
planet
and on.
doesn't
It'll keep
need- no.
whizzing round the
Yeah.
sun. We need to save
We're more
ourselves.
concerned with hack the
Only
planet.
The planet,
Because,
the planet's probably going to be
It's
much,
doomed
much,
at
much
some
better
point.
off if we're no longer on it.
yeah, that's
Sorry,
true.
that's me.
I would
That's
say we need a
very
big impact
fatalist
Bill,
now.
in that again.
Yeah, but we caused a lot of mass extinctions
Yeah.
on the way out, so it's not so great.
We will. That's not so great, but it'll pick itself up without us.
Australia
James Lovelock, Gaia.
is the worst country in the world for the number of extinct animals. We are literally on top. Yeah, it's not a good thing to be on top of this list. We have lost so many species of animals in this country, and probably the number one reason is feral cats and other introduced species here, like rabbits and things like that. Yep.
That's why in Hawaii they're very careful about what animals they allow to come in, because
Yeah.
this
yeah.
the bird population is very susceptible. So
Yeah, we don't want to lose the quokka. Don't take our quokkas, okay?
yeah, right.
All right, let's get back to some sort of synth show. Why don't we hit this button? Oh, yes, we can talk. We can whinge here. This is what we can do, people.
Whinge about this now.
We can whinge about this. Yeah. Whee! Look at that one. Limited self-edition, self-playing designer piano. How about that, hey? $421,279 US. Hey, but look, free shipping. Jesus, it looks like a friggin' spaceship. It's talking about free shipping.
Cost what? Cost 400,000 to ship the thing back to it.
It's in Liverpool.
Yeah. You literally live underneath it. It's actually a building. It would be at that price, wouldn't it? Perhaps I like about this listing. Perhaps you are looking for something a little less ordinary. Walk into your foyer of your home and see this monolith. Doesn't help the way you play, unfortunately. Even though it's self-playing.
Could you imagine having that and then just hitting a key? Just trying to do a little like 8-step sequence with one finger. What have you got? A 421,000 piano?
Yeah. What you got? A big credit card debt. That's what you got. Ring at the bank. MasterCard's on the phone. They want to know what the hell this is.
Add to cart. It's just funny. You're not going to get that in your cart, are you?
It's little plastic baskets that you get at the supermarket. You're going to add it to it.
From here, it looks like a weird shoe. It's just a crazy design.
Yeah.
It's kind of all sort of.
Nero.
It's kind of all that sculpted plastic. That sort of I don't know what you call it.
Yeah, but if they just stuck like a normal keyboard in it, like a piano keyboard.
Yeah.
No, I think it'll be.
There's no strings
it'll
or
be a piano. So there's been a player piano from Yamaha, a Grand, with a MIDI file player in it since the 1980s. So that technology has been there for self-playing acoustic pianos. It's all done on MIDI files. So I'm assuming that this is just an ordinary. Inside is an ordinary grand piano that you can play from the keyboard, and then you can just press play if you want it to start playing a piece of music back. I'm sure that's probably what it is, but I mean, it looks
a normal Yamaha grand and then just molded something around it to make it look different.
Big shout out
very possibly, yeah.
Big shout out to Tesoro Neuro Piano Company in Liverpool. Great place of the world if you there's only 5 of these. So the last sentence of this. So be sure to reserve yours today.
Yachts, aren't they? They're made to go on billionaires' yachts, and that's
What are the
it.
chatties saying?
They'll sell to.
It's horrendous, says Mikkel.
It's vulgar and extremis.
5 too many, says Lady Aptitude. Correct. Definitely. Let's go to the next one. Yeah, it's DK Synergy Mark II. Ultra rare synthesizer. I thought we'd seen this before. Maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, up for sale is a super red DK Synergy synth. Apparently, according to this, there's only 100 in the world, recently serviced by X-Fade Electronics. Comes with a custom patch memory card, holds 24 by 8, 192 patches. Everything works great. Asking for 4,500, or will trade for a sequential circuits profit VS keyboard. Does anyone know about the DK Synergy synth? I had a quick look.
I played one before. I actually had the Wendy Carlos.
Yeah, Wendy Carlos used it.
Yeah.
Sorry, Andy.
Yeah,
You need the K Pro computer to actually program it. So.
What do you need?
Yeah.
This old crappy K Pro computer. It was just a whole. It's like a Synclavier where basically you have a custom computer things hooked up to it to really get use out of it.
Okay.
And it's with the cartridges and some on-screen on panel programming, you can get away with it, but it really needs the computer to be a full controllable, tweakable thing.
Okay. Well, I knew nothing about this thing, but apparently it does 8 to 16 voices depending on what version you've got. Mm-hmm. It's four-part multi-timbral, 32 digital oscillators. So gathering by that, there's 2 oscillators per voice if you've got 16 voices. It does sine and triangle waveforms. So is it sort of like an FME type thing, is it? 16 stage envelopes. That's interesting. I'd like to know more about
additive.
That. Yeah.
I think it's a more additive thing than FM. But...
It does have a sequencer, 4-track sequencer with 1,860 note capacity. With volatile.
I almost got a local one once. It was like $1,500, but then I thought better. So
it doesn't have MIDI unless you buy a later model, and yeah, obviously Wendy Carlos was mentioned, used on the digital Moonscapes and Beauty and the Beast. If you're wondering where that came from. Anyway, there's that one. This really kind of perked my interest. This is a Marantz.
Before we jump on, actually, sorry, Ranzee.
Oh, you want me to go back?
Dr. Synth. Yeah, Manny's just said that you don't need the K Pro anymore. Other things like iOS and PO, there's now a complete VST version, so probably you can do it that way, which will be interesting. So, I mean, it's still going to be old and clunky, but I'd have thought.
Yeah, you still got to find a working one, and who's going to fix it when it goes belly up, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, quite. Yeah. Sorry, Ranz.
That's okay. We have to get Manny on the show to tell us about his experience with his Korg OP6. Manny, start typing. This one, the Marantz. I don't know if you guys remember, Marantz were making really nice hi-fi gear back in the 80s.
Hi-fi systems, yeah.
Yeah. But they also made this sort of stuff.
This machine.
I've got a CD player.
You remember this, do you, Brooksy?
Yeah, I remember that coming out. That sort of 4-track or 8-track cassette recorder thing. I think is it 4-track tape recorder with a mixer. I do remember that coming out.
Yeah. What is it? Is it a 6 or is it a? Is it 4 mono and 2 stereo? I think it might be 4 mono and 2 stereo channels.
I think that's just the mix. That's just the mix. It's just the mixer. That's 4 VU meters. I think it's a 4-track tape recorder.
Oh, it's definitely a 4-track, but I'm just thinking that the mixer might actually have a couple of extra channels that you can blend. I think that was kind of the thing with it. It had a little blendy thing that was good. But I would love something like that. Doesn't that look really... It's not the best photo, but I probably should find a better photo of that. It looks really nice. It's kind of Marantz-like. I mean, Marantz also did that sort of goldy sort of look stuff as well, didn't they? They were very well known for that gold look.
Goldie looking 4-track.
Goldie looking 4-track, yeah. There was a gold version. Hey, look at that. I need to get this photo up so I can show you guys. Yeah. I've got a little peek. It's coming. Oh, it's probably not. Oh, it's probably just the camera. It's probably not gold. Sorry. No, it's not. It's just a real bad photo. Hang on a sec.
Oh.
You'll see what I mean when I show you. It's just really badly taken. It's not gold at all. When it was a thumbnail, I was looking at it, I was thinking, oh wow, it's gold. It ain't. Here we go. There. Just a bad photo.
Yeah.
That's not doing it any justice at all as a photo, is it?
No, put the
It's
other
not.
back on it. It looks better.
The other one
looks very cheap here.
The other one looks so
Well,
much nicer.
It looked amazing. The photo.
That's probably more what it looks like in reality, to be honest.
Yeah, the other photo was more of a close-up. This thing looks like it's like a chameleon with light. I can't actually save that photo. Let's try
There's
this
quite
one.
a lot of other Porter studios out there that are similar. I mean, they'll all be of a similar age and similar condition these days, I'd have thought, unless they've been well maintained. Fostex and Yamaha, Tascam had a nice range.
Yep, Akai had one, I think, as well at one stage.
And for the look of those buttons, it looks like it's logic controlled. So that's another thing to break on it, right?
Yeah.
I loved my Fostex, Mickle. I had an X15 and I did all sorts with it.
Let's go back to there. And then back to, I think it was this one. I think that was it. Was that it? Oh, no, there was that. That's right. The Jupiter 4.
Whoa. Oh, silly.
11,000 euro.
Lovely, desirable.
I absolutely love this synth, though. This is a cool Jupiter. Very, very cool Jupiter. Yeah, I can't spend that sort of money on a 4-voice. It's basically a four-voice Pro Mars, isn't it, really? Yeah. That's what it is.
I'll stick with the System 8 Pro Mars plug out.
Exactly. Although those controls, I don't know, something about this and the Korg 700, right?
Bots.
Bots are back.
Hang on, let me see if I can get rid of some. Report, remove. Report.
Yeah, I've blocked. I've removed them already, Ranz, but hide user on this channel. There we go.
All right, cool. All right. Thank you.
That's a good sign, that. Means you're popular.
Next. Oh, we're back to there. I do have more to show. Okay, so let's get rid of that and go to here.
It is appropriate. You're showing gear porn, so the porn sites show up. So.
Yes, people, please do not click on those links because it will just, it will feed the trolls. I think this is. What have you done?
No, I'm just trying to measure something. This channel, I'll tell you.
Don't mind us, Darren. We're just doing a show here. Okay, so I wanted to show you.
He's doing this old house.
I wanted to show you these. Like, if you guys ever venture across to a website called Matrix Synths, right? Matrix Synths is a great website. If you ever kind of, I don't know, just you're sipping on a coffee one day and you got 5 minutes to sort of, muck around on the net, go to Matrix Synths and click on some of the auctions, because this is what I literally came up with by clicking on his front page, and I found this, which I thought was cool, even though the listing has ended. I haven't actually ever seen this before. That's why I thought it was cool. Stereo Electronics doing a Prophet 5 rack mount. I never knew they did that. That's actually really cool. The prices are in Australian dollars. I do apologise because it's locale based. But yeah, version Rev 3.3 if you're wondering what version of Prophet 5 it is. That's actually really cool. I would definitely be interested in something like that. I know Wagoo would be. Wagoo, have you got one of those? Have you got one of those stuck in your massive rack? That'd be interesting. So what, £7,000? I don't know if that price is cool though. But that's probably what they're worth, right? If they're rare. And then the next one I got was this one, which was the Keytech. It's a vintage expander of the CTS 5000. And I'll just do this for you guys. So you're wondering what it is? It's in a different language. It's sound...
in German.
Effects.
It's an effects unit.
Never seen one of those either.
An EEPROM with sample sounds, la la la.
Yep. Never seen one of those either.
Never heard of that.
And that was, what was it, €220? That might actually be a bargain. So there you go. Okay. This is just, like I said, Matrix Synth. So big shout out to Matrix Synth. This is another one. Quad VCA from IntelliGel. Behringer have gone and cloned that thing now. £110 for that is actually pretty good. So jump onto that.
It's not scammy.
That's not scammy. These aren't scammy prices, by the way. This is just normal auctions.
There are other versions of it as well. It's not just Behringer. There are other companies that have done similar ones.
I've got the Quad VCA thing called 4Play. I've got the Behringer one here. I can't remember if they gave that to me or if I bought it. I might have bought it. I can't remember now.
I got Mutable Instruments Veils Quad VCA.
Yeah, Veils is good.
Now this one is definitely, like, if that was the MKS, this one here, sorry, if that was the MKS 70 programmer, I would be onto this like you wouldn't believe. But it's the MKS 80. Wow, £4,000. That's a lot of money. So the MKS 80, so that's a Jupiter 8 rack mount and the programmer. Right? That's a great option. Right. That is actually probably a pretty good price.
Probably a decent price.
£4,000. So, like I said, it's on Matrix Synth's website. So if you people are after a Jupiter 8, that's probably a decent way of getting one, because all the guts inside that are exactly the same as what's in the synth.
Kent's just saying, no, it bloody isn't, Ranzee. Clearly the MKS 80 is not the same as a Jupiter.
It's not?
In spite of the name.
It's really
not the same as a Jupiter 8.
Why is it not the same? I thought they were exactly the same.
No, apparently they're not. Kent, you'd have to tell us more.
Yeah, tell us more. Because I was always under the impression
it's DCOs, right? I think it's DCOs.
Oh, really? I never knew that.
Yeah.
Because my MKS 70 is exactly the same as a Super JX, right? So I just assumed that they were the same.
No, it's not. It's got different stuff.
What's he saying?
I have heard that said before. It's still a lovely synth. Don't get me wrong. It's still a beautiful synth.
And you don't see that pair very often.
It's a Super Jupiter. Right, yes. Dom's correctly pointed. I never noticed that. I've always just assumed it was a Jupiter in a rack. But he's right. It's a Super Jupiter. Which, Okay. Wow. Definitely been schooled today, guys. You learn something every day.
Can I ask you about your MKS 70 though? Does that not just work with the PG800 programmer? The same one that worked with the JX8P? I thought that also worked with the JX10.
It doesn't work with the PG300, which is the JX3P. It works with the... I don't have the programmer for it, which is what the problem is. Right. Hang on, I've just lost my button. Trying to go to us. There we go. No, I don't have the programmer for it. Wow, settle down, Chief. Jeez. Someone's a bit passionate about that. Anyway, so my MKS 70 is without a programmer. I think it's got one of the earlier firmwares on the EPROM on it as well, which is a problem. So one of the projects I've got on the boil is I'm going to do the firmware update through Phil Conan, I think his name is. He's like a Canadian guy. Fred, I think he's Fred or Frank. And then it literally opens the synth up to a couple of things like pulse width modulation and also it opens it up to SysX, which my version of my firmware doesn't have. It's only very, very basic MIDI on it, which means that I can use things like a a VST editor or an iPad as an editor, or if I want to, I can go and get the retro kits. Not retro kits, it's a different company. Retro something. They make a controller for it, which is about $800 or $900 US. It's so expensive. So
those things are expensive.
Yeah. But once I've got all that done, it's like a project. I literally am just waiting for chips. And we talked about that before, so we don't have to go there. It's probably about a year away before I get that. I need to go and investigate what a Super Jupiter is. Because, I mean, how different is its MKS 80 to an MKS 70 then? That's the next question. I know with the MKS 70, it's basically two 6-voice. It's basically two JX8Ps, right? So, yeah. And you use it kind of like a two.
The MKS8 is 8-voice, and I'm sure it's splittable.
Yeah.
It's got a lot in common with the Jupiter 8, but it's not exactly the same. Now, Kent will tell us whether it's VCOs or DCOs. I think it's VCOs, actually, but I may well be wrong.
I thought it was VCOs, but I'll be corrected. I'm happy to be corrected.
Have you got one? Has Dom got? He says it's one of his faves. I wonder if he's actually got one.
The MKS 70 is DCO because it's the super.
Yeah, Brett Lemmings just said the same as I have. MKS 70 is DCO, and 80 is.
Oh, you said 80 is VCO. Yeah, he does too. Let's go to this one. Did I go to this one? Roland Jupiter 6 for £6,000. That's £1,000 per voice.
Well, when you say it like that, sub 37.
A lot of people say this is their favourite Jupiter. I don't know why they say that.
Yeah.
Why would they say that? Why would they say the Jupiter 6 is their favourite of the Jupiters? I'm not sure.
It's got
the filter's nice. That's why the guy sells the Joe filter for modular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's all about the filter? I don't know, but sometimes people say that sort of stuff, Andy. Like, one person said to me once that the SH5 filter's the best filter he's ever heard Roland ever make, and I like it. It's fun, but I wouldn't say that's the best filter they ever made. So it's just, I think it's all to do with your own personal opinion, really. I think it's like, if we're talking about an SH5 filter, I think it's unpredictable, if anything, and sometimes that annoys the crap out of me because you're trying to do something and you're trying to get it back to what you had and it's gone. What the hell? But yeah. Okay. And I think that was it. Was that it? Yeah, that was it. So that was Matrix Synths auction. So I just thought I'd share that with you guys because I thought we're always talking about like scammy prices and stuff like that. This time these are the real ones, and there was a couple of good deals in there. I thought that rack mount keytech theme might be interesting for €220, and the IntelliGel Quad VCA for £110 is pretty cheap. So you never know. Or if you're into an MKS 80 and if you've got a spare £4,000, I reckon that's a pretty good price too. Do you guys agree with that?
It's probably fair, that one, even though it's a lot of money.
60s.
Yeah, we'll get one. Just don't tell the wife. Darren's going to get one. It's local pickup only, and it's in Santa Ana in California, United States, Darren. So you're on a plane.
Andy will get it for you.
How far away is Santa Ana? That's right down the bottom, isn't it? That's right down the bottom of.
Down by Dr. Synth.
Manny, go pick it up for us.
Manny will get it for you.
It's in mid condition. Let's go back to the listing of the Jupiter 6. This is just for Darren. There you go. Mint condition. It's reverb listing. Fully functional, cosmetically perfect. Not one blemish on it. I bet you'll find one. You won't see this clean ever again. I love these. Serviced by Rose & Sound in Los Angeles back in 2017. It's been completely functional ever since. It's based...
I like the black finish app, though.
Wonder if he's going to throw in the sauce with it. You know, nothing like a Jupiter with some sauce.
And a Simmons drum voice.
Siemens SDS8, yeah.
SDS5
SDS8.
SDS8 was it?
Yeah. You just hear those toms from the 80s. From the Siemens. Yes. Okay. Did we actually get any further from Kent, or did Kent literally just throw his like coffee or tea at the screen and discuss and walk
the
off?
oscillator chips are different. The MKS8 uses 3340 chips. The Jupiter 8 uses different ones. Scroll back up again.
Oh, so they're using Curtis chips.
The Jupiter 8 is CA3046, and the MKS is 3340s.
So Curtis chips.
There we are. So it's different chips for the oscillators.
So the 3340 are the same chips in the SH101, aren't they?
And the Pro One.
And the Pro One.
Profits and
yeah.
And
okay.
Loads of things.
There you go. There you go, people. If you're a Jupiter fan, you've now been schooled. I have anyway. Nothing wrong with being schooled. Right. I want to get this ready because guess what time it is, people? It's time for... Who wants to say it? Who wants to have a guess?
Time for bed, said Zebedee? No.
No.
Time
Guess
for...
that's synth.
Yes, Mr. Henrik.
Oh,
it is.
Thank you, Henrik.
Okay, enough about me crapping on. Let's go back to all of us. Right, so name that synth. We're going to play a video. Thank you very much for the anonymous person who sent this in and at last minute. Wow, talk about saving the day, because I actually didn't have one ready this week and I was feeling a bit sad about it, and I was kind of feeling sad about getting ignored on my emails as well. But anyway, we're going to rock on with this. I think everyone in the chat knows what we need to do. So we're going to watch the video. You've got plenty of time to put your guess singular in. And I'm going to give you 30 seconds after the video has paused, which you'll see a 30-second countdown. Are we ready? Get set. Get the mouse over here. I'll mute myself. Go.
Synclavier.
Time is up, people. Time is up. Where's it got my name there? Go away. Go away, name. Okay, Azio Head with the brilliant guess of no idea. Half God, half beast, you're too late. Okay, let's...
A general MIDI of some kind. So.
Let's reveal who the person was that sent it in. So it was Eddie, who's F-Rose in the chat. Big thank you to Eddie for saving the last minute submission, and let's reveal it.
That's
Here we go.
Ball, then. Is it?
There we go. I don't even have to go any further, but I will. There we go. Roland JV 1080 people. Now, who got it? Who got it? Let's scroll back.
Future World Machines.
Scroll back. Future World Machines got it. Yes. Good job, Future World Machines. Beautiful. I just wanted to double check that, Andy. I know you're onto it, mate, but I just wanted to double check.
No,
Mr. Wiggly got close. Mr. Wiggly got close. Wagoo got even closer, but no cigar. Sorry, Mr. Wagoo. You just got to be quicker. Half God, Half Beast got close by saying a JX5080 because they're very similar. But yeah, technically they use the same sounds, right? Technically.
That's why I said XP50.
Same cards.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you guys. I think we've talked about this before, haven't we, Darren? I actually really, really like the JV 1080 sound and all the subsidiaries, XP50, XP60, all the subsidiaries that came out from that sort of whole
the JV,
PCM era.
The JV 1080 is like the rack mount version of the XP, wasn't it?
Yeah, I really like it. And I think we talked about Vangelis using them too, didn't we? So, he rated them and he was using them right up till the end. So don't knock the JV. That's Future World Machines is winner chicken dinner. So yeah, he's saying, wow, look at that. See, it pays to be persistent. Good on you, Eddie, for sending that in. I really like that one. He did a good job of that. Future World Machines, see, he's well accustomed to it because he used to have one. I've got mine on the Roland Cloud now, my JV 1080. I love it. It's actually one of my most used VSTs at the moment. I really, really like it. If you haven't got Roland Cloud, there's a very, very cheap and easy way for you to get to the JX5080, the JV 1080. I think there's one other thing on there that's got those sort of sound banks in it as well. So there's a bit of a plug for Roland. I'm sure they're making squillions right now from all their sound. What's it called? SoundCloud? Is that what it's called? No, not SoundCloud. Roland Cloud. SoundCloud's something else. Right. Beautiful. Future World Machines.
Get into it, but it isn't.
If Future World Machines hasn't won anything before, get in contact with me and you can join the queue. We'll have to get Skippy to sort out the delay. Anyway, look at that. Brett Lemmings is saying he has a JV 8080 and a JD 990. Do I need the JV 1080? You always need it. You need everything. All the synths is your answer. If you ever think that you need to ask if you need it, the answer is always yes. Probably not, actually, to be honest. Probably not. The JV 8080 is pretty cool, isn't it? You've got what one do you have up there? You've got the JB. What have you got, Andy, in the JV sort of range? I thought you had one.
800, 990, 1080. A bunch in the rack back here.
You got a bunch
back here in the rack. So.
Did any of those sounds really sort of go, oh, I know those sounds when you're listening?
I haven't actually. I like the 1080. I bought it back in 2008 when I was doing some jams with a friend and used it on. Had some good stuff with it, but literally have not turned it on probably in 4 years. But it is a great box.
Fair enough.
So.
Fair enough. Wagoo's saying, what's he saying there? JD 990 and JV 1080 have the best sound for what I remember of Don Solaris's massively in-depth tests of them all. There you go.
990 has the high-quality wave files in it, so it's much. They're not as compressed.
When they do the PCMs, okay, interesting. Right. So I wonder that's got me thinking. When they do the Roland Cloud, because now we are 20 years into the future, 25 years into the future, right? Are they using the higher quality uncompressed? How do we know? Can anyone tell us that? Who's a massive Roland Cloud person that knows all the in-depth stuff about Roland Cloud? Tell us if...
well, if they're being accurate, they're going to use whatever the units had, and a lot of the units had compressed files.
Well, the 5080 was supposed to be pretty good too, wasn't it? I thought the 5080 was pretty high spec.
I've not seen that one. I'm
the
sure
5080 is is it the silver or the gold coloured one? And it had it was like jam packed with heaps more. It was kind of like their, throw the kitchen sink at sound libraries before computers really sort of.
I actually want to get an Integra 7. Those are pretty cool because you get a whole best of thing in there.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys noticed, we were talking about Heaven 17 before. They had the V-Synth on stage, which is, you know, similar sort of stuff. There we go, look at that. Look at the JVs.
What are you?
Is that your favourite JV?
Oh, it's an expansion card.
Yeah, that's the SRJV 8011. Is that right?
Yeah. SRJV 8011, yeah.
I like the vintage. The vintage one's good too. If you can get hold of the vintage one, that's a good one. You got it?
No, I didn't. I got the techno and I'm trying to remember what the other one is. Is it a drum and bass one? I think it was a bass
drum and bass. I had an XP30, which had the same cards, and I had the techno, and I had the vintage, and I had some sort of orchestra one. Actually, I think they were called Orchestra 1 and Orchestra 2. And then the last one I had 4 of them because I had 4 slots. I had the, it was like a, what's the word that they use for world music, but it's not world music, it's something else. What was it called?
Ethnic?
Might have been ethnic, yeah. It might have been ethnic. There was like all this, like...
When it called World? When it called just World?
Or was it called World, was it?
I'm sure
Maybe it was.
Not 100%, but I think it was called World.
Yeah, someone will tell us. They were really cool fun, those cards. I really enjoyed them. But yeah, it was the synth that I used the least, the XP30, and I hated the keyboard on it. Absolutely sucked. So yeah, and I've got worse keyboards around here, so I kind of haven't really followed that as a rule. But yeah, I did not like the keyboard on the XP30. You know how we were talking about the aftertouch on the DX7 II being really tough? Haha. And the the D50 aftertouch being really tough. Well, the XP30, I think, you know, you need to have a sledgehammer next to you. Just get the aftertouch working. It was that bad. It was terrible. There might have been something wrong with it. Probably was.
I think that my W30's got the same keyboard as the D50. It's the same generation. And
right.
my W30, the lowest D key stopped working. Okay.
Right.
So it didn't generate a note on, note off. But I used to use it as an aftertouch controller because it did generate the aftertouch. So I could play a nice chord and press that key and control the aftertouch. So I wasn't worrying about just that one, and it worked so well. It was such an. I've still got it. It still does the same thing. It's that key's still dead. So it just plays the aftertouch, and I used to be able to control that rather than using your whole hand to do it. Just that one finger, just pressing down. It's great. Really good expression sort of control that. So
I find that weird that the aftertouch. Oh no, because it's one aftertouch, isn't it, for the whole keyboard? It's channel after. Yeah, okay. So it's probably the contacts on that key that were probably letting you down.
No, I made it a feature. You know, I said I don't want that fixing.
Have you tried the pencil? Have you tried the pencil trick? So you go into the key. So you go into the keyboard, pull the key out, and the contacts where the actual key hits. There's like a sort of circuit thing that hits. You can if you get a HB pencil and just put a bit of graphite. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
That's.
But you're assuming that I wanted to mend the key. I didn't, because it was a controller.
I was going to say.
Well, you can just take it to Kent's. Take it to Kent. He'll look after you.
Yeah. Right, mend all the keys except that one, please. Leave that one.
You just don't want to play that note. all Andy's music has not that note.
Yeah, not that note in it.
That's funny. Right. Yeah, I've never actually. I've used D50s, but I've never owned a D50, and I definitely understand what the aftertouch is like. But my D50 is a D550. It's in my rack down here, right here, behind that glass window. Yes. I'm keeping an eye on the chat. I do need to say thank you to Wagoo before that. Well, it's just disappearing off the top of the screen. I did say thank you in the chat for the 10 francs, Swiss francs, the chuffs. Kent.
Yeah, thanks, Ken.
You're a shocker. You
What a
are a
gent.
shocker.
No, he's not. It's a fine offer. Fine offer, sir.
Yeah, D550's. It's beautiful. I don't know what it about is. It's a digital crazy land, sound, but I just really like the D550. It's just got a presence about it. I don't know. It's weird. It's hard to explain. People will tell me off. What was it? There was a guy I was talking to on social media the other day. We're talking about that term warmth, right? And geez, that conversation got off on a massive tangent. But yeah, if you're ever describing a synth and it has warmth, and then you're trying to sort of back it up with some sort of technical knowledge, do not go down there. There's a rabbit warren that would probably dig you down into China, basically. It's crazy.
D50 does have some warm patches. The famous soundtrack one is quite warm.
Yeah, it's beautiful sounding, isn't it?
That's why I got two D550s and a D50 so I can stack them.
You got two 550s. Do you actually? Yeah. How many rooms have you got full of synths? You must have so many synths there, Andy.
It's one giant crazy ass room. So.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
And some stuff at my girlfriend's right now because I ran out of space. So.
As long as you stay together, that's okay, I guess.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, if that ever goes south, that I have to move very quickly. So.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff.
You'll have to preempt moving it out quickly. That is.
Yeah.
You know what I found interesting speaking of D50s, the guys in chat are talking about D50s now. When I got my JD-Xi, which is like a more modern Roland tiny crappy keyboard, I really like that. I don't know what it is about that JD-Xi. I really like it. It's got the little analog mono synth in it too.
Great, yeah.
But what happened was there was a guy called Arnie who got in contact with me, and he wrote a Windows editor for it. And it got you right into all the supernatural PCMs. And you could go and do all the different partials on all the synth voices. And it was so much fun. And it kind of got me back into my D50 because, that's basically where it all started with the LA synthesis, right? So it was basically the JD-Xi. I've had my D550 for years sitting in the rack, and before that I probably just used Sysx or whatever it is to change the patches and did that sort of stuff. But when I got my JD-Xi and the editor, and it brought me into all that sort of editing of the partials, which is kind of a cool thing. If you ever try it out, you should try it out. Any sort of form of, if you get the Roland Cloud D50 version, you can go in and edit the partials in that. It's good fun. It's really, really cool. You can make some amazing sounds. Like you can layer different PCMs with virtual analog voices, and you can really, really have fun. Technically, those synths are still endless possibilities. And they're 40 years old, 35, 40 years old.
Well, the joystick is great. Everyone talks about vector synths, but no one ever talks about the D50 as a vector. So
that's true. That is a good point. Yeah. Define a vector synth, though.
Well, just basically panning, right?
Yeah.
You're panning and changing volumes on different parts or sounds, and that's what the partials are. So
it's mixing between, But even the Korg M3 can do that too, can't it?
And just a synth on its own without the transients, with just the synth parts, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is true. So if you just use the VA side of it, is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Imagine if they had analog filters in that. Imagine.
They do a good job. Those sweeper pads are really nice. The filtery stuff you get out of it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it obviously bar the stepping, because it is pretty steppy, those filters.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about the Harmonix. I'm talking about the digital stepping in them.
Oh, yeah, it's bathed in reverb, so you rarely hear that part. So yeah.
Yeah. But if they redid it like in modern version with those filters being like a new analog algorithm, like the System 8 versions of the filters, basically. it actually would be pretty cool. That would actually be a pretty good idea, because they've pretty much redesigned all the analog filters of Roland and made them into ACB or the Zencore versions of those filters now, haven't they?
Well, the cool thing too is a lot of people slag off the boutiques, but the D50 boutique, the DO5, actually has a high quality mode. So if you don't want the grunge of the D50 and like all those damn cards preloaded in the box, it's a great little value, and it sounds amazing, and it's super portable. Just hook a keyboard to it, and it's basically a D50. And
it's got the joystick.
Exactly, you got the joystick and arpeggiator and sequencer and effects, all the stuff that half the stuff the D50 didn't have. So
did they discontinue that?
Maybe, I'm not sure.
I thought they discontinued most of the
quickly
boutiques
when it came out.
Oh no, you can still buy them.
Yeah,
they're still showing
good value because it's hardware. It's it has a high quality, low quality mode, and all those damn sounds. Those cards used to be a pain in the ass to get. All those.
Roland's website says discontinued. Okay, so on their website they're saying it's discontinued, but they're still showing them in stock in various stores around the place. And yeah, I don't know, if you ever wanted to get a D50, probably Roland Cloud would be the cheapest way of getting one. But they're all over Reverb. They're actually selling pretty cheap on Reverb.
Yeah.
There you go. DO5s. I don't know if I'd pay £1,000 for one though. Come on. Wow. Actually, now I've got a listing for next week's show.
Well, when the JP08 was discontinued, that went crazy money,
You guys, I'm not going to, people are going to get upset with me. I absolutely could not stand the JP08. Sorry. That to me was like I'm going to say it very quickly. Yeah. Do not bring a synth out that replicates another synth that had 8 voices and only give it 4. Just don't do that. You do not do that. That's just stupid. Like, it completely defies logic in my mind.
Well, the Juno only had 4 and it's supposed to be 6, so
No, I didn't like that either. Yeah, but when the System 8 came out and they brought out the Jupiter 8, they had 8 voices in it, and
it's proper.
That was it was well done, and it was ACB as well. So, but yeah, like Don says in chat, you could buy 2 of them.
Fairly unlimited, haven't they?
But they got
the JX08. They've got higher voice counts. The JD08. I mean, that's 64 note polyphony. So they've managed to do it in their latest ones. It would be nice if they could redo some of the older ones.
That's because there's Zencore.
With the correct voice count.
Yeah. Well, Goo said he'd take 4 voices of ACB over 100 voices of ABM. I know what he's saying there. I definitely agree. Mr. Wiggly, Dominic's got succumbed by the Roland marketing campaign. That's why they actually did it. They sold it with 4 voices so that you would buy 2, and they got your money now, mate. No, but they are good. Like the only thing that just annoyed me was that they brought it out, called it a Jupiter 8, and only gave it 4 voices. I just thought that was a bit of
Well, look at the Behringer Soul things that have not very many voices on them either. They're not out yet, but
those little toy things that they're bringing out.
Well, the JP8000 ripoff that's only got 4 voices, I think. So
yeah.
Well, they're just like Volkers, though, right? I mean, I don't think.
Yeah.
We're not talking.
They're kind of built like a Craft Synth 2.
What were the boutiques? They were like 300, 400 US or whatever they were.
Yeah, they're about £350.
Yeah. So if you look at those Behringer things, they're only like £50, like £25, £40. They're a tiny amount of money compared to the other things. So you would forgive them for that. Even the Volkers, the Korg Volkers, they were analog gear, and they had like the Volker keys only had 3 voices. I think it was it paraphonic as well? So you'd forgive them for that sort of stuff. Yes. Anyway, guys, I think we're going to wrap it up. Now, Henrik. Before we do wrap it up, Henrik, you've got some news, don't you?
Oh, yes. I am releasing this.
Another album?
Quite proud.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, it's because in the wintertime I do the music, and in the summertime when it's too hot to switch everything on, I do the mastering. So the albums are coming out now, and I'm already preparing the next for next month. So
wow.
So it's time to release something. This one I'm proud of. There are some really great stuff on it, which defines or shows what some of the things I'm inspired by. There is some 90s early house thoughts in it, in some of it. The first song I think is very much like that. But as I said, I'm already on to the next one, so I'm not thinking much about this one now. But
has this been released to
yeah.
through a distributor yet? So this would be on like Spotify and that. Okay, so I won't play it because I'll get a copyright strike. Okay, but what I will do is I will copy the link and paste that in the chat right now, because I think everyone would like to know what that link is for that. Straight to the album. Copy that.
I must say about this album, the first two songs, I was not sure if they suited the album, because the rest of the songs are a bit more like on Pendemus, the previous album.
Oh, sorry.
So the two first are a little different, but I included them because I couldn't find where else they should fit, and so yeah.
But that's cool, because like what you've told, I mean, you was it a month ago you brought out the other album? Probably wasn't even a month. It was probably 2 weeks ago. The Pandemus one, which was your pandemic, story. Now you've got the Macrocosm, which and then you're saying that you've got another one coming. So for those who like your music, that's a cool little sort of period to be in, because they're just going to keep getting some really cool stuff. So well done, mate. Well done. Love to be able to play it.
Album is, the next album is a bit like this, from song 3 to 7, but a little more like Jean-Michel Jarre and some of the early 80s that inspired me. There are some harmonies from the early 80s, some Human League harmonies, I think, from there and the time around there.
Fantastic.
That's
definitely
the next album.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're getting some nice comments in chat. Always like nice comments. Mikhail, flattery will get you everywhere. Thank you for the big thank you. He says, big thanks to Ranzee and all the great sidekicks in the show today. Thanks, guys, and it was a pleasure to chat with people of knowledge. This podcast synth show really shows its worth. Thanks, mate. That was really nice of you to say. I definitely wouldn't have the knowledge side of it. I kept getting slammed for my knowledge. My knowledge kept failing. Thanks to not knowing what a Jupiter 8 is and a MKS 80. Oh, well.
And Kent threatening to punch you. What more could you want?
Oh, yeah. What's a day without Kent's not threatened to punch me, hey? And it's beautiful. Anyway, I did enjoy it. It was all tongue-in-cheek, by the way. We do joke a bit. But anyway, thank you very much for all of you gentlemen who are on the video course, and obviously the chatties as well, being a major part of the show. We love having you on, and we've got idiots coming in now.
Just for the end, the box.
Yeah. Let's just...
Got it. Done it.
I have one question for Andy there. When are you and Grace doing an album?
Well, we actually talked about that last night. About actually, rather than just doing the jams and then sticking those out on Bandcamp, which is fine. We'll continue to do that, but actually to find the time to sit and properly work out what we want to do, how we want to do it, record it properly, spend more time concentrating on the actual sounds, making sure that the sounds are as good as they can be. That's going to happen, but it requires us to be able to find the time to do it. Obviously, Grace at the moment is very busy on tour doing the live sound engineering, and in a couple of weeks' time, I'll be back at full-time work. I'm back in teaching, so it'll be one of those sort of things which are our weekends free. It might say that we have to take a back step from doing the hardware jam stuff. It might be that I have to say I can't come on this week, Ranz, because I'm going around to Grace's and we're going to do it all day and we're going to write a track, that sort of thing. But it's being planned. Can't give any more details than that because that's as far as we've got. So.
Well, I mean, if you need to take a week off, I'm more than happy for you to do that. You're not bound by any contractual agreements, that's for sure. So, but we do love having you on, that's for sure. Yeah, I agree with Henrik. I reckon it'd be awesome to see something pop out from you and Grace. You guys do a good job. Absolutely.
We're definitely talking about it. I mean, so yeah, just watch this space. It just might be a bloody long space. Till it's ready.
All right. Well, let's see what happens in the future. But anyway, big thumbs up for everyone. We're going to say goodbye. I'm going to need to go spend some time with my wife because it's her birthday today. So on that beautiful note, yes,
she must love you lots.
She does. See everyone.
All right. See you, folks.
Enjoy.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.